And welcome back to Culture and Crisis, doing an LP of The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. We just burned a web in the Deku tree, and now we're about to enter this door that it so reveals. Alright, so if you're just joining us, we've already been through the forest and we've dealt with the intro, so if you need to catch up and you really don't know this game, I have videos available that you can check out. So right now we're in a room with yet another Deku scrub. But unlike this dude here, most dudes, you have to pay attention to what he says because what he says has something to do with the next room. So for a quick review, I don't mind repeating, like I said before. You can just use the Deku shield to just bounce off his seeds. Seed targeting is about the easiest you can get with it. And you can try to do it without it, but it's really more challenging. I've done it, and I'm not saying that other people can't do it. So now he's saying,
"Please forgive me, Master. I'll never do it again. If you spare me, I'll teach you something cool. You will never beat my brothers up ahead unless you punish them in the proper order. The order is..."
So you're going to see about 3 of these things, and you just have to remember 2, 3, and 1. So just to save you some wondering, there is going to be a room shortly that's going to have 3 Dekus that you're going to have to hit in a certain order. Now, you might be going, okay, what's up with this eye here? Well, as you can see, that is connected with moving on to the next room, so you have to use, as I just demonstrated, with the Deku seed and get rid of it. One of the new features in this game is Link is capable of swimming, although I take that back because he actually can a little bit in Link to the Past. But just to save a lot of confusion in this room, I'll just come right to the point. The only reason you're going to swim at all or even try to dive has to do with that switch right down there at the bottom. And what that's going to do is drain the water out so that you can get underneath the well, I'm just going to call it a spike look. I don't know what the technical name is for it. But it's mandatory for you to go onward to the other side of this we'll call it water chasm or something like that. I know it's stupid, but come on, cut me a break. I'm like an amateur with this, really. So, now there's another. Once you get to the other side of this, you're gonna have to grab as soon as it shows it in view, a block. You're gonna have to. Yeah, I can really talk early in the morning. It's only 11:30, really. I guess I'm just not with it at all. But hey, whatever. In any event, there is a block you're gonna have to move, and you're gonna have to do it in such a way that you can still kill the spider on the other side and get up safely. Just keep in mind, if you try to get up without killing the spider, it will attack you, and it's gonna do you no good. Or to put it more politely, you're just gonna lose, really. No, that wasn't even polite. Let's call it you're just gonna have a real hard time, and I would hate to see anyone go through that. So, but to eliminate that spider, it's pretty much the same as the one up at the top of the web or the top of the tree, and you just hit the back of it. So now, this is gonna bring us right to, at least it should anyway. Bring us to... Oh, okay, I forgot to mention about this room. This room is pretty much straightforward. You just have 2 torches to light up. If you've gotten the hang of it by now, you'll have no trouble getting by that. Another thing that you can also do is use the function button, the blue button there, to put your stick away when you don't need to use it. Alright, so this basically is a very easy room with just another spider. You can't really get past it until you kill it, or you'll just face certain death. So you don't want to really bother with that. Now, this room might look like it's totally empty, but if you look carefully, there are some suspicious-looking things, namely webs. And there's 2 of them you can burn, but this is the main one you want to go to. The other one, I think, has like an extra heart, a heart refill or whatnot. So, you go through this one here, and yet another tunnel. So we just go through like a little baby, and suddenly you hear an imaginary frog in the background, which never like shows up or whatever. So this is maybe the final stretch before the final boss, which kind of is amazing when you think about it, because I thought it was going to take longer. It took me only like 2 videos to do it all, which was pretty cool. But for future reference, for those of you that might have a lot of trouble figuring out where to go, if you ever get to the boss and you're just stumped and you're like, "Ugh, I'm gonna have to go through it all over again," well, hold that thought, and take this box here and put it in the water. What that's gonna do is it'll take you right to the other side so that you can easily get back over. Now, if you notice real carefully, this is the platform we couldn't reach previous video. Now you will be able to do just that with the block that you just put into the water. So it's pretty convenient, and it just saves quite a hassle. You will have to use the Deku stick and put some fire on that again. It's frequent in this castle. What I've noticed is I think this is maybe like the only dungeon in the whole game where you really use it the most here. And I think there's a couple of others, but mainly so this one. But again, correct me if I'm wrong, and I probably will. So now what you gotta do is you have to stand on top of this little floor here, and if you time it right, you basically use the stick and you'll burn that, and you'll intentionally fall into this abyss below. And immediately you'll find 3 hearts that you can use to refill things up with, and of course that will be very convenient. So here are the 3 Deku scrubs that I was promising you before. You have to make sure you hit these in the right combination. So just to reiterate, there's 2, there's 3, and they don't actually like say anything, at least the first 2. So if they turn blue and it looks like it's incorrect, then you're probably right. And here's 1. So remember that 2, 3, 1, and you'll get the right combination. And so obviously after you hit the first one, you have to talk to it. I messed up a couple times, so so you have to follow it and all that stuff. Luckily, if you don't get him in time, he goes back into his little shrub there. So if you mess up, all you have to do is just hit number 1 again, which I guess maybe was like a glitch in the game. So I've heard that there's like millions of glitches in the game that people mention, but I doubt I'm ever going to find them all. Like this side of eternity, let's just put it that way. Now, I'm not going to really read what he's saying, but I'm just going to kind of prep you. Once you go into this room, this is the boss room. I'll just tell you right up front. You'll see this little cutscene, and it'll look like there is a boss. And it's pretty much going to set the stage up for it. And do not be deceived, folks. If you find yourself just looking around and you don't see anything, don't sweat it whatsoever. Yeah, I decided to put cheat codes. I know I'm a loser, but whatever. If you look around the room and like you see completely nothing, use the camera, the camera angle, and you'll see like a little spot there, and if you just flash it at her enough times, she'll just blow her cover, really, or you're blowing her cover, I should say. Parasitic Armored Argyle Golma! Yeah, I like how it advertises the bosses at the beginning of each fight there. That is, like, wicked cool. At least I think so. It's like a newspaper article when you look at it. So to whip the Parasite, it's very straightforward. You just go for the eye that opens up with, and just Z-target with the seeds. And once it turns green, you can hack it away with the sword. It will climb up in the ceiling. I would just say it's important to kind of just like keep track of it. It's probably the easiest way to kill it. But once you get that done, it'll just eliminate the boss, and a nice little cutscene ensues. I gotta love Nintendo for putting such great sound effects into the death cries and stuff. So, typical Legend of Zelda. You beat the boss, and you get an extra heart to add to your heart supply. And it's kind of cool how Link leaves. There's pretty much like, yeah, I like the you got a heart theme there. It's pretty cool. The way you end each stage, it's basically warm and inviting. You just go into the little beam up thing there, and away you go. So that pretty much wraps it up for this segment. The next one we're going to be checking out a very exciting cutscene, and we're going to get into a familiar part of the game that I think speaks for itself for all Zeldas. So stick around.